Hey, what's up, everybody? If you guys didn't see my tweets, I put out one called "At the Airport, Headed Home." Didn't sleep last night. Ask me anything. I figured a really good way to do Q&A this week is to directly tackle like post-major questions. If you can't tell, I'm tired. It's like 3, almost 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I just got home from my flights, and I still have yet to sleep. And since being awake, we have done Championship Sunday, and then everything else, and then travel home the next day. You can see my eyes, like I'm exhausted. So we're gonna do a Q&A from that AMA that I put out on Twitter, and kind of crush through these. We're gonna do probably a handful or two of questions, but figured we'd keep it candid because I didn't feel like setting up all my stuff before I go pass out. So, first question from Metro asks, what were some of the biggest takeaways from the major? I think everybody's kind of just happy that it's back. Everybody feels more revitalized. The fact that the major and live events are a thing again, and with them announcing a bunch of stuff, which we'll be talking about in videos all this week. So make sure you guys hit subscribe because this week is going to be a lot of things that we're recapping over the past couple of days. But I think the fact that live crowds are back, it's more of a like convention feeling more than a concert. And I'll deep dive my experiences and the stuff I went through with some cool stuff that I've got planned here in the next couple of days. But it's one thing to have the major and a live event, but it's also the fact that they're announcing things. And probably the biggest takeaway is the fact that the Rocket League esports team is doing everything in their power to get ahead of the curve. You know, like people know automatically right now where the spring major is, where the winter major, you know, now that it's come to an end, like we know where the World Championships is, and that's 5 months in the future. Like people can plan for stuff now. It's really cool, and the team's trying to do as much as they can to get ahead of all that. So it's pretty sick. It just seems like we're taking the training wheels off of Rocket League esports, which is really cool. So it's probably my biggest takeaway. Which team would I consider dark horse this major? Unbiasedly, maybe like V1 or FaZe. I don't think probably V1. I don't think anybody really had V1 in like consistently in the top of the bracket. I know I didn't. I thought Group A, which did become the group of death, with both FaZe and Queso and V1 in there. All three of those teams ended up making top 6. So I don't know anybody that in their bracket consistently, unless they were like a huge V1 fan, had V1 in like top of groups and playing the way they did. And like you look at their losses in upper and lower bracket, and a couple goals go the other way. They're top 4 or top 3. So, and then who knows what happens from there? Because all those matches were coin flips when you get to that point. So, Furia as well. Furia played extremely well. So super happy for them. Do I think Misfits will qualify for the spring major? There's going to be a lot of roster changes that go down in Europe, and there's going to be a lot of new looks at teams. So honestly, I have no idea. There's some pretty prolific teams that are going to be switching it up. So, and Misfits has shown that multiple times they have a chance to qualify, and then they kind of choke, which really hurts. So really, really tough there. Spec says, what's your favorite pro NA team? V1. Who do you root for if you no longer casted or made content? Probably no one. If I'm not casting, if I'm not making content, I don't know how invested I am in the Rocket League esports scene. I do this because I'm passionate about it, because I love it, and I feel like if I was to lose that passion or that love, I probably wouldn't be doing it anymore. Is Olpix cool? Unfortunately, I didn't get to meet the Detonator guys, but Olpix does follow me on Twitter, so yeah, he's sick. Shout outs to Olpix. Favorite series? BDS G2 is sick. FaZe V1 was really good. G2 Queso, either one in the grand final was amazing. I think any of the top 6 matches were just absolutely impeccable. But yeah, pretty cool stuff. Who ordered the most rounds last night? There's a person in the community by the name of Papa B who was buying drinks for everybody. Shout out to that guy. He's a regular in the community and hangs out my stream a lot. But he was buying drinks for everyone. Super nice guy. How do you feel seeing the crowd IRL for the first time? It was surreal, because understand, like, it's been 2.5 years that we've all been gone from it, but then there's also the side of it where like I started my YouTube channel and started grinding content more, and like if you can't tell by my voice, and if you go back and look at all my recap videos, like damn, you guys were so supportive. Like my notifications and everything, the amount of photos that people took with me. Like if you guys have photos, tweet at me. By the way, if we took any photos together, please tweet at me. I want to put a compilation and stuff of all those together and say thanks to all you guys personally. But yeah, it was insane to see the growth of getting back to the community. Like the amount of people that were there was insane, and the amount of people that were supporting me was just unbelievable. There was times where like I wanted to go get food, and it took me like 2 hours to get to the place I was trying to get because so many people stopped. And it's so humbling and so awesome. So yeah, it was insane. The crowd was loud. The chants were still kind of but I'm sure Copperbox will bring it back. But yeah, it was loud there. People were excited for Rocket League. You did get people cheering for both sides. I don't know how well it came through the broadcast. I'll have to go back and look. So, what's my next tattoo gonna be? I have no idea, man. I just got a full sleeve. We'll probably hold off for a little bit. Excited to be going back to Copperbox? Hell yeah. More details on that in a future video. I feel like G2, especially JNAPS, is the best storyline winning this LAN, especially with it looking like it was going to be a repeat of Season 7. Do you think another team maybe had a better storyline? I think Queso. Queso's really cool. They were a team in fall that struggled getting top 16 consistently. And after scrimming a bunch of teams in the fall major, because everybody was over in Sweden, they just kind of hit their stride. The confidence is there. And you're talking a team of 15-year-old kids come in. They don't have the best group stage. You know, they do okay. And they just plow through the lower bracket. I mean, you're telling me they had to play 7 matches to win, and they made it. They got a bracket reset, and like you saw Vitir's reaction, right? Like Vitir was heartbroken after they lost. So you're talking a bunch of young kids that look absolutely dominant in their first exposure. Like that's impeccable. But yeah, the JNAP storyline is super cool. Rizzo being the one to give them the medals. I'll sit next to Athena when that happened, and just the tears of like the passing of the torch for G2 was really cool. So I'm glad Sinex had Rizzo do the medals for MVP. How do I feel about the EUNA debate? I think it's good. It's entertainment, and I have no issues with it. But I will say that it's kind of stupid. Like NA, EU, OCE, SAM, whatever. Any team that makes the major is good. Every team that is playing is competitive, and it's awesome. You're saying APAC take win. You know, like they took a game off phase. That's incredible. So I think the NA versus U debate is irrelevant. I think anytime you put those teams together, they're all really talented, and it's a coin flip at that point. But it is good to get the investment of those regions fighting for whichever they think is better. So NA is good again, I guess. How do you think Dignitas allowed themselves to be reverse swept twice? I don't think it's necessarily that they allow themselves to. I think it's a lot of credit mostly to the other team having the fortitude to do it. And it is also after a certain point when you lose those matches and it starts to swing back in the other team's favor, it's very tough for your own mental. But yeah, it is surprising. Dignitas for me was a favorite, and they had all the makings to do it. But again, these teams are all so good. Like you go and ask any of these players, like everybody is absolutely incredible on the field. So yeah, pretty crazy stuff. I introduced myself at the viewing party with an RL tag, and not knowing have the slightest clue who I am, shook your hand, walked off, socially awkward way possible. Give your best strange interaction stories. Usually people are pretty good. I forget who tweeted it out, but like nobody was like really smelly this land, which is really cool. Everybody's showering and using deodorant. We joke about that, but it is a thing. I met Boston Scott, who is the running back. He's one of the running backs for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's also a content creator for Dignitas, and he thought I was Lethmere, so that was cool. But it wasn't like anything strange, you know. No, I haven't had any like super awkward. Like people are usually pretty good. There's people that are shy and stuff, which I understand, but nothing strange. It's always cute seeing the little kids that are like, you know, like up to your hip at most that come up and they're just like so excited and stuff. I've got a picture I think somewhere where like I actually like went like I got on my knees and like so the kid was like still up to here. It was so cute, but yeah, it's awesome to see people of all ages come up. But yeah, I haven't had any like crazy strange interactions with people, and even if I did, I wouldn't put them on blast. Last question comes from Jordan Key. He says, what do you think was Space Station's situation that kept them from being able to overcome Team Queso? Team Queso is a grueling team. Space Station, I think, has a lot of talent and a lot of skill. But Queso is just, it's a team of 3 young individual players that at any moment can hit a flip reset, a double flip reset, a crazy pinch or whatever. And their playstyle is just frustrating. It's so aggressive and it's so difficult to read. There'll be times where one of the players will have a ground air dribble. Like he'll pop the ball up, and before he even goes up for that, he'll tell his teammates that he's faking it. And like he'll just dance on the ball, and then another player behind him just comes in and gets a free aerial. And it's like, how do you prepare for that? How do you as a defense stop that? And it's all the time. So I think Space Station, again, they had the series, they were close. That can be said about a bunch of different teams, whether it be FaZe, V1, Space Station, Queso, Dig, like G2 obviously clutching it out. I mean, G2 is a prime example. That grand finals, the first series, goes to game 7, and you've got 2 players that both call for the ball, and then because both of them call for it, they both also back off, and it leads to a free goal. Like, that's the difference between winning and not winning. It's insane. So, Yeah, wild stuff. Crazy land. Appreciate all the questions. Thank you guys for keeping me entertained, thinking, and awake at the airport. But I'm going to go to bed. I'm so tired. So I do appreciate you guys. A lot of stuff we're going to be recapping. We're going to be talking about the Sandrock Gaming stuff coming up this week, talking about the Winter Major as a whole. We'll recap it. We'll talk about the Spring Major and the announcement. We'll talk about Worlds being announced, running it back in Dallas. It's going to be sick. So a bunch of stuff. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully the video and the phone quality isn't too bad, but there was no way I was going to be able to pull my stuff out of my backpack and like set up my camera setup. I'm tired. So I've been officially awake for like 30 plus hours, and I'm starting to feel it. So as always, I appreciate you. I love you guys. Thank you for everything you guys did for me this weekend. It was awesome meeting you all, and we'll talk a lot about it in videos coming out this week. Peace.